Good morning, beautiful. It is lovely to see you, and it's so nice to be out here with you. Let me waste no time. Let me show you the flowers, because that's why we're out here. Apart from the fact the birds are nice. I showed you this flower yesterday, but it's so beautiful. And look at those petals. They've fallen off something up here. Morning, Mike. And they're so vibrant. The colour is gorgeous, in part because it's been not sunny. There you go. And so these beautiful flowers aren't faded. And oh, this is glorious. This actually reminds me of something that I saw in a meditation last week, I think. It was a lot like this, except it was a completely single flower, the same glowing yellow centre, but the petals around were not pink, they were white. Creamy, glorious, glowing white. It was lovely. So, you know, we've got dahlias. We have dahlias, and there's more over there, and they so need me to deadhead them. But anyway, what else have we got here? Yes, we have the crazy belladonna. And you can see they're aging, and there's a beauty in that. I don't go through and deadhead them. It's just way too much. But, you know, you have fresh flowers, and you have the ones that are drying up. And there are just so many of them, and they smell fabulous. Look at that. So I haven't counted the stems. There should be an annual amaryllis count. I haven't done it yet. But this is the one, the new kid on the block. I moved this from somewhere else. And it's taken 2 years to flower, and isn't that fabulous? It's got stripes on it, and the scent of this one is beautiful. Even better. You know, if there could be such a better thing, there's a better thing, and it's this. So we have autumn crocus in full flight. It's very bright. This is the best time in the front garden, except for spring. Good morning, Jan. Good morning, everybody who's jumping on. Whether I can call you by name or not, it's lovely to have you with us. So here we are. There's flowers, and there's the white roses there. It's such a good rose. It just goes and goes and goes. You know, it's old. Anybody who was really into roses would have pulled it out and got something else, but it's like an old friend. Look at this. It's got little... Come on, camera, focus. There you go. Look at the little tinges of blushes of pink on the edge of each petal. Oh, we've got a little moth friend as well. I haven't seen one of those for ages. They've got a racing stripe down the side. And it's nice to see that. Oh, look, a little spider friend in there as well. Everything is full of life. So, and there's a late bud on this rose. What was the other thing I wanted to show you? We still have Luculia. I love to just get up close to these flowers and show you the detail. And you've got to imagine the scent. These perfume the garden. There's so many of them. It's lovely. So, jumping out of the garden. Obviously, we still have anemones. They're looking a little bit dry, actually. There's only to throw some water here. But, you know, on it goes. The the willow gentian is getting a little bit old, but it's still a beautiful blue. I'm just trying to get this focus right for you. There you go. Now you can see the flowers. And look, they've got purple on, you know, they got a racing stripe too. So properly blue in the middle and then purple on the outside. A little bit of late feverfew as well. So there's always something going on here, and yes, I have made choices to plant things that smell good. Let's not miss out on the sweetheart rose. Oh, look, that's coriander that I picked, but there's more which is running to seed, so there's going to be an absolute invasion next season. So, yeah, there's the garden. And, don't know what that was. The smell here is really nice. So, sweet scent laying in the air, because there's no wind, so nothing blows it away. So, it's Technique Tuesday, and I thought, well, what am I going to share with you that's practical, that we can do, that I can talk about from my own experience and explain a bit of science and, you know, give you something useful, right? Because I like things that you can apply, and I like things that really work, and don't just work when somebody's talking you through it, but actually if you apply yourself and you learn it and you practice it, will work any time to some degree, bearing in mind that everybody is different every day, and some things are more difficult to overcome than others. So, Adekonya. Adekonle, it's lovely to see you. I'm sure that's not the way to say your name, but welcome. And we don't do readings here, Adekonle. I really don't believe in that, and seeing as this is my space, I am going to say that, because I believe very strongly in my own ability to find out what my truth is for myself. So, that's all I'm going to say about that. I want to talk about taking a bad emotion and turning it into a better emotion, and how you can practically do that, and what the science is about that. So, at least a little bit of the science, because there's a whole lot that, I don't have time to talk about. So, if you're in here often, you know that I talk a lot about heart coherence and brain coherence. And if you've been in here recently, you'll know that I'm reading a book which is teaching me more stuff about the heart and heart coherence and how that works. And the book is actually at least 20 years old, and it was written by some people who started off the HeartMath Institute. And the HeartMath Institute is interested in basically helping people in the entire world live better lives and be more peaceful by being more connected and coherent in their hearts. But the science of it, it's not a woo-woo, new age spiritual thing, although there's a lot of spirituality comes into it. Abigail, good morning. Shavi, hello. And I'm interested in mysticism that is repeatable, that has some science, that has something solid to it, so I can rely upon it like I could last night when the crap came down. I spent half of last night literally trying to manage my body, which was very interesting. It was trying to do things that it did a couple of years ago, which I would have called a panic attack, except it was different. And I half have an idea that it was actually a healing process. I think energy was releasing from my body because I was getting a lot of heat. And that only happens in my meditation, the way that it was happening last night. I get heat that just flows out of my body. So I'm thinking that's quite possibly what was happening. But it was quite intense. I could not get to sleep. My heart rate was elevated, not massively, gently, but still, a couple of years ago I would have been in fear, and the big difference last night is that I wasn't, and I knew what to do, and I knew how to manage myself, and I got about half a night's sleep in 2 bits. I did a meditation in the middle because there's nothing else was working. See, I love science that works. So creating coherence, and I will nap today because I'm going to need that. But I love that I know what to do when everything else that I can think of isn't working. So, that's why I'm so in love with science, because it empowers me to be very mystical and spiritual. But science, to have mystical experiences, science, to fire up my brain and change the chemistry in my brain and change my energy so that I can connect with who knows what to come in. And that also means when I open my eyes and I'm scared, I can do something about it. So that's what I'm interested in. And there is a bridge between the two of them. It turns out the more you are connected to the unified field, the more you are coherent in your heart and your brain, and the more you can be mystical. But also the more you can be physically and emotionally healthy. So it all goes together. So I love how it all hooks up for me in this work that I'm doing. Get to the point, Maddie. So, the thing I want to talk to you about is the thing called the freeze frame technique. And you will see at the bottom of the post that I did, the words, there are 2 links. One of them, because I did a little thing and I thought I want to give you some resources if you're interested. One of them takes you to a brief post which just shows you a picture of some of the things that heart coherence does for us, or some of the things that our hearts do for us every day, every moment. And it gives you the 5 steps of the freeze frame technique. The other link takes you to the HeartMath Institute's freeze frame ebook, if you want more detail. Or you can find the HeartMath solution by the HeartMath people and read it yourself. Now here are the 5 steps of the freeze frame technique, and obviously I'm not going to say much more about it than the fact that it can help you take a bad feeling and turn it into a good one. There's a lot more that this does for you than that, but that's what I'm going to focus on today. So the first thing is to realize, oh shit, I'm having a bad feeling. Right? Nothing happens unless you're aware and you are also willing to freeze frame, push the pause button, stop the video, the movie of your life, and take some time out. It might only be a minute or 3 to do this, but you do have to stop. You just can't carry on thinking, oh, I'll deal with it later. Oh, I'm too busy to make myself feel better. So that's the first thing. You have to notice and you have to push pause. And if that means going and shutting yourself in the toilet to do something for a couple of minutes, well then you've got to value and love yourself enough to do that. The next thing you have to do, so that's step 1. Step 2, put your awareness, guess where? In the center of your chest. We do that a lot, right? Hi, Sanjay. We do that a lot. So put your awareness in the center of your chest and breathe in and out of there. And breathing in and out of there helps you keep your awareness there. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that just by putting your awareness in your chest, you make better connections between your brain and your heart. And remember, they're connected by neurology and chemistry and electromagnetism and a whole lot of other stuff that I can't remember right now. There's 5 ways that our hearts and brains communicate and communicate not just between each other, but with the whole world, really. And 4. Sorry, maybe 5. See, I can't remember yet. I haven't learned enough. But as soon as you put your conscious awareness into your heart, you're immediately starting to make that connection better. You're immediately starting to create some heart coherence. So that's the first thing. Put your attention there. Take 2 or 3 breaths in and out of your chest. Take a moment, literally a moment, 2 or 3 breaths to do that. Then bring to mind, and this is something you have to do a little bit of preparation for, so, we can talk about that in a minute. Bring to mind a memory or an imagination or something that makes you feel good. And for me, right now, because I had the most amazing meditation on a local beach on Saturday, and I was walking along the path, right, in meditation with my eyes open, walking, so much energy, wow. I love these walking meditations. And I suddenly became aware that my future self was, I don't know, a metre or 2 in front of me on the path, walking in front of me, kind of, looking back over his shoulder, saying, come on, you can do it. It was really moving. I kind of burst into tears. It's like, oh my God, I love myself this much. I'm here with me. I'm encouraging me. That's me. And that memory is very powerful because there was a lot of stuff that I was feeling, that I'd built, that I'd already created in myself. And there I was in front of me, urging me on. So I bring that memory to mind because it's very strong, it's very positive. Now, if you've had a lovely holiday that you remember, a special time, being on a beach at sunset, it's peaceful, and you had a lovely meal, you got friends with you, or you climbed a mountain, it was, you achieved something, literally or physically, or metaphorically, you climbed a mountain, whatever it is, and this is the part you got to do beforehand, you got to work out something that is a good enough feeling or even imagination. Like, I haven't been that future self, but I'm getting to know and fall in love with that future self. So that for me right now is the thing that is the memory that I bring to myself. I am remembering my future, and that memory of my future is so powerful, and it's getting more powerful every day, that it just brings everything back to me. And I was doing a lot of that last night, believe me, because I didn't want to put my mind on and give my attention to the things that were happening that were kind of not even uncomfortable, just, why can't I settle this down? I can't go to sleep. I've been awake for more than an hour, and my heart is still slightly elevated and my body won't relax, and so I can't go to sleep. And if I do, my diaphragm will just churn and I'll wake up again. I've been there and done that. I know what's going on. It's a physical thing, but there's a neurological basis to it. So that's number 3. Bring this thing to mind and to heart. You got to try to make it feel real. You got to try to recreate the experience. See, it's not enough to think about it. You got to, and having your awareness in your heart, right? Do your best to recreate the experience. And it's okay if you can't do that. Just the action internally of bringing it to mind and putting it in your heart and breathing in and out of there and focusing on that thing is getting your attention off the thing that's bugging you, right? The problem you can't solve, or whatever it is that's going on, the thing you're stressing over. We talked a lot about stress yesterday. Well, this is the antidote to stress. It's not the only one, but it works. It's good. So you bring that to heart, you breathe a little bit more, right? Because you're getting heart-centered and you're taking your attention off the big scary boogeyman, whatever it is. The thing that you've suddenly gone, oh shit, I'm stressed about something. What the hell is it? Who cares? Okay, come into my heart. I can breathe in my heart. Breathe in and out. Okay, am I breathing down a little bit? Breathe in and out. Okay, I've got my attention there now. Yanking it into my heart instead of on whatever that other thing is that I don't even want to mention. Now, what was that thing I was going to bring up to myself when I decided I was going to do this? Oh, okay, it's that. Right. Oh, what was that like? Oh, right. Yeah. And I can imagine the sights and the sounds and the smells and the feelings and the temperature and the taste and, whatever it is. Just like you're talking about, Sanchia. It really does work because you're firing those networks in your brain. So, you do that for a little bit. And then... and this is the part that I've had to practice because I have to remember this. And it doesn't matter if it isn't word for word. And you'll find it on the first link below. You have to ask your heart, because you've got your attention in your heart right now. You have to ask your heart a question. And the question is, what is a more efficient response that I can have to this situation that is going to bring me less stress in future? What is a more efficient response to this situation that will bring less stress in future? And you think about that if you've just been getting riled up at your spouse or your significant other or a child, or, there's a problem you can't solve, you're at work and you think, oh shit, how am I going to get over this one? It's a showstopper. And you're stressed, right? Something is just in your face. And if you can walk away for 60 seconds or 20, 2 minutes or 3 minutes to do this, what is a more efficient, and by the way, stress is really inefficient, so more efficient means less stressful, a more efficient response to this situation that will bring me less stress in future? That's the heart math question. And you ask your heart. You hold that question in your heart for a breath or two. That's step 4. And then step 5, listen, feel in your heart for the answer. And quite often, immediately, particularly with practice, an answer comes. And you just think, oh, how did I not know that before? And the reason why is when you start to connect your heart with your brain, and by the way, this morning the meditation I did was entirely about connecting my heart with my brain because I know that I needed that. That's all it was about, just connect the heart and the brain, get them talking to each other. Get them talking to each other really, really well. When your heart and your brain are connecting, you get access to information that was always there, but you were in such a pickle, it couldn't get through to you, and you couldn't see it, and you couldn't receive it. Because you're in stress, right? And when you're in stress, you're just either going to fight or flee or hide. And so you're not open to creative solutions and finding a way to approach a person with compassion instead of judgment or frustration, finding a solution to that problem that you're banging your head against, and it's just, it's too hard. And then you do this, and as you practice it, information starts to be able to get through to you. It's there all the time. By the way, last night, I had to get up and get my iPod and actually, for the first time ever, lie in bed, listen to Dr. Joe explain the meditation I was going to do, which I haven't done for a while, and I thought, oh, yeah, okay, I'll listen to that. And then do the meditation. So the very first blessing of the energy centers, and it was perfect. And there are 8 energy centers, right? I got all the way to 5, gradually creating more coherence. And at 5, it came to me, oh, it's this muscle that's still tight. And unusually, this has never happened before either, I was directed, do a pinch thing on that muscle and just squeeze it and release it a bit. Just do that now, in the middle of your meditation. Okay. Because I was connected and coherent and aligned up enough by having done that meditation work that the information could get through to me. And I had been asking, what do I miss? Which muscle? The thing is, this is a new one. This has never caused this problem before. And it's not just one muscle, but it's just this was the one that I'd missed, that I needed to release. I did the thing, I finished the meditation, I went to sleep. And then my alarm went off and I got up. The information could get through to me. So, I know I've pushed those two things together. But that is the freeze frame technique. And when you've learned it, like I read in the book, they say, oh, we can teach people this technique in a couple of hours, which presumably means they really explain the detail of it, which you can find in the ebook, right? And then they give them some practice. I'm sure that's, and then you go away and you do some, and then you come back and you do another hour, and by then you've really learnt the thing. So that's cool. The point being that once you understand it, you then have to think, well, how am I going to apply this in my life? And I also was thinking, well, how am I going to apply this in my life? And that in the book that I'm reading, they say, well, you can set yourself reminders, you can put a thing on your fridge, and I thought, no, I don't really want to do that. But because I've got enough things that I'm running, right? But I also recognized that I really did want to incorporate this in somehow. So how am I going to do this? So what I decided is, when I'm working, doing my website administration work, I have a reminder that goes off every 10 minutes that tells me to stand up for 15 seconds, exercise my eyes, and I've added, I've added the stand up and move around part. It's an eye break thing, but I get up out of my chair, I run on the spot, I wave my arms around, and I move my eyes. So I have added to that, and this is a good exercise for me, that I'll put my attention in my heart while I'm doing that. Because I'm already generating elevated emotions. A lot of the time when I'm doing that, for 10 or 15 seconds, I'm just, I'm celebrating. It doesn't matter what. I'm just elevating my emotions for 10 seconds every 10 minutes. You better believe that's powerful. It's useful. It stops you getting locked into heavy stuff, And if I'm in a meeting that lasts for an hour or more, I notice the fact that I haven't done it. It's powerful to be. And sometimes it's like, oh, God, I've got to stand up. But these days, it's like, oh, I get to stand up and feel good for 10 seconds. Okay, I'm going to do this. It used to be so irritating, but I knew I needed to do it. So I decided to add the heart center into that little 10-minute thing. And then when something does disturb me, I will, most of the time, make the time to do the freeze frame technique as well, just to see how it works. Just to try it out. Just to add it to my suite of tools so that I'm getting more used to doing it, so that I'm remembering it, because the biggest thing is remembering the blinking thing, right? So that's a freeze frame. That's what I know about it, because I've just only been playing with it, but I want to share it with you. And it's Tuesday, which means that in 3.5 hours, I am back on Tuesday, because last week was different, to giving you a big catch-up with how our Sang-Marie Gomez is doing in the Gambia. It's very exciting times. He is working his ass off. He'd probably laugh if he heard me say that, and I'm sure you will, Sang-Marie, when you wake up. 24/7, 7 days a week. He's loving what he's doing. But we have a couple of needs, and your good prayers and intentions and love will be very much appreciated, just so he can make it through, because it's a lot that he's doing. So I will look forward to seeing you in 3.5 hours if you want to jump on. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Big love, and thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.